That is why. I wasn't even thinking Coyote Ugly. I was thinking of Angelica.
The run.
No.
I felt really good after the refeed, like midweek, and then it got super hot. So I'm vlogging this a week after everything's happened. So I'm kind of giving you a recap of what my 4-week mark looked like. What happened at 4 weeks though? Got my refeed. Cause now we're at, okay. The weeks have been tough, I'm not gonna lie. This past week, I had one of the best weeks that I had. I was super motivated again. I wanted to be back in the gym. And my coach actually gave me a refeed on Sunday. So she increased my carbs by 250. So I added that to what I'm currently on, which is 130. So I was eating like I got like close to 300 grams. And then she bumped up my fat a little bit for that refeed. So what I did was I ate my regular meals throughout the day and then kind of macro hoarded a little bit so Nick and I could have some fun-filled dinner. So we ended up choosing homemade roast beef and turkey sandwiches and frozen yogurt and sweet potato fries. So it was delicious. My weight went up. Interesting. So when you use the scale as like an obsession, no bueno. But what I've been doing is I like to see where my weight fluctuates after I, sometimes if I have like a heavily carb or really filling meal at night, or if I like switch up my dessert that I have at night, I like to see where my weight's at in the morning. So what I did was after Nick and I had that refeed, I actually weighed myself just to see how much the scale jumped. So it bumped all the way up to 127. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I don't know why I had to count that. So again, this just really emphasizes that you need to understand when you are tracking your progress, especially if you are weighing yourself every single day, you need to understand that your weight is going to fluctuate, okay? Don't freak out. Grab your water the next day. Just really, because your cortisol levels and your sodium, they're all over the place. So again, don't freak out. Just get that water in, and again, just continue to do what you do, and your body will kind of even itself out at the end of the week. So, whew. But again, the point of that story is that your weight is going to fluctuate every single day based on like stress, the weather, what you're eating, how active you are. So again, if you are going to make it a point to weigh yourself every day, then you need to like literally embrace the fact that it's going to fluctuate. My coach did cut me going into 3 weeks out. So my macros currently are 100 grams of carbs, 100 grams of carbs, 120 protein, and 35 fat. My measurements didn't really change that much, which I don't really expect them to now, to be honest with you. I mean, maybe, I don't know. It was an awesome week, and then it kind of ended with like a week, but this past weekend gave me a real chance to just kind of relax and like regroup. My mom, my dad, my sister, and Nick, like they all booked their flight for Pittsburgh, and it just got me excited again. I think as a competitor, you naturally kind of have in the back of your mind, like, okay, I want to do well. I want to do well. So many factors play into it, but so it's hard to bring it back to why you're truly doing this. And I really turned my attention to the fact that like, almost 3 years ago, I said that I wanted this moment, and the moment is to compete at the national level. So Amber actually said it to me the other day. She's like, Ash, just, you're going to have fun. Like, I really think that's all she said. And it just kind of like triggered something in me. And like, as kind of like cliche as it sounds, it just really brought me back to like why I'm doing this. We have right now less than 4 weeks. So thank you all for watching. This vlog series is a week behind actual time of what we're going through. So I know that Amber mentioned we're going to save the show day and for the last vlog. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But I can promise you that I am going to bring the best me to that stage in September. I can confidently say that. And I am going to enjoy absolutely every minute of it.
So we wanted to step you through a little tutorial on how to make a low carb and low fat macaroni and cheese. It's great for lunch, it's great for dinner, maybe even breakfast if you're feeling adventurous. But I had posted this recipe on my Instagram last week, and a lot of people had asked me for, you know, the ingredients and how I went about making this. So here we go. So first you're going to want to set your oven before you start prepping to 350. Then you are going to want to cut in half your butternut squash like this. And then you are going to want to kind of pit out all the yucky stuff in the middle. Place that to the side. And for these noodles, you're going to want to drain them and then actually rinse them with water afterwards. Fair warning, they do have a little odor to them, but they are actually tasteless. And they're meant to be tasteless because when you add flavors, the noodles itself will absorb those flavors. But it's a great option for a low-carb meal. You can basically have the whole container for about 8 grams of carbs. So that is what we're going to use for our noodles. Then guys, you're just going to want to lightly spray the pan that you're going to be cooking with. And before you place the noodles on the bottom as the base layer, just really use a towel to soak out that excess liquid, because I found when I first had cooked these, it was a little too liquidy for my tasting. Then we used turkey bacon and actually cooked it just a little bit in the microwave for about 15 to 20 seconds, and then the rest bakes once we put it in the oven. Then we are going to just layer the bacon on top of the noodles, and before we actually put it in the oven, just throw any seasonings that you might like on that to give it a little extra flavor, a little extra kick. So you are all probably wondering what the butternut squash is for, and that is actually going to be our cheese. So what you're going to do is just scoop it out of the actual squash itself into the bullet, blender, whatever you have. Then add in your almond milk just to give it that liquid consistency. I do recommend adding in the milk slowly just because you don't want it to be too much of a liquid consistency where it's like a soupy mac and cheese. So then you're just going to blend it up and then slowly pour onto your noodles. And I actually didn't use protein for this meal, but you can add, you know, chicken, ground turkey to this meal, jazz it up a little bit. But then you are all set to place it into the oven. When you put it in the oven, just set the timer for about 15 to 20 minutes, because then once it's kind of halfway through being done, you're going to add your fat-free mozzarella cheese on the top. And last but not least, let this bake again for about another 5 minutes and then set it to broil for like 2 to 3 minutes to get that golden brown cheese. Alright guys, and there you have it, a low carb and low fat mac and cheese dish. It's super simple to put together. You can get really creative with this, but we hope you enjoyed and stay tuned for next week. Bye guys!